Edmonton seemed to have things kind of heading in the right direction. 4 wins in their previous 6 games, but now you go and you lose to the team that's at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, the worst road team in hockey. I mean, why can't the Oilers seem to have like a long winning stretch here of hockey?
Well, can I add one more thing? And they played the night before in Calgary
Sabres
and
did.
lost. So,
Yeah.
So here's the Edmonton Oilers. They played arguably their best 2 periods of the season on Saturday night versus the Winnipeg Jets. Jumped all over them and got what I would call a well-deserved hard game that showed you what they were all about. And then they follow it up with arguably their 2 worst periods. Like, the game started at 7:08 after the national anthems in Edmonton, and they started playing in the 3rd period.
Right.
So if that's how you want to treat it, if that's how you want to play, you want to be laissez-faire. One of the things, okay, so you see the good from the Edmonton Oilers, go, oh, okay, they're back, okay, better defensively. And then you see a game like this, and if that's how they want to play, that's why you cannot be taken seriously as a Stanley Cup contender. But it's not about losing, it's how you lost and who you lost to and the situation. Back-to-back nights against the worst road team in the league, and that's how you treat it? Not going to be a Stanley Cup contender in my view. They're going to have to show me a lot more before I'm ready to jump on any type of Stanley Cup discussion as them as a contender.
It's like they shoot themselves in the foot too much.
Yes.
They're falling behind so early in these games and making it so difficult on themselves. And despite all that top-end talent, you just can't get out of it every single night, and this is another example of that. This team, Winnipeg, 5 wins only in their last 17 games, Craig. They're having trouble keeping the puck out of their own net. So is this mostly a goaltending problem, or do you think this falls on the defense?
Well, part of it is the defensive play, which we know how good they've been the past 2 seasons. They just haven't found that level, and they need to find that level because it's been near the bottom 25% in the league. So that's not going to get it done. But to me, they got 2 major issues. He talked about we need more from 20. I don't think all the 20 players are there. The second line isn't good enough. The second line isn't heavy. It isn't fast. It doesn't score. So now you lose. Whenever they go out on the ice, you lose. It also affects the defense. The bottom pair of defense, not good enough either. So you can talk about effort. You can talk about digging in and the intensity. And the Winnipeg Jets played a really good game here against a very good Dallas Stars team. But when you don't have a strong bottom pair defense, and then you have a second line, well, that's a gap. Now Scott Arniel's sitting there going, okay, who do I get out there to protect the defense? Who do I get out there to protect the second line? And that is a personnel problem. So when he talks about 20 guys, all the 20 guys they have right now in their organization, or they're going to dress, not good enough. Yeah. And that second line, he can shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. Bottom line is it's a big-time hole there, and they got to strengthen the bottom pair blue line.
Yeah, we all wanted to see the Jonathan Toews experiment work out, and it still could, but I think, when they brought him in, we thought maybe as a third-line center, that's a great role, but he's been elevated to that second line a little bit, and without Ehlers, they're just missing that depth scoring, right?
Well, Ehlers was a dynamic player.
Yeah.
Cole Perfetti right now has not found any level. I'll be quite forward here. Cole Perfetti has not played to an NHL standard this year. It's not anywhere near good enough, and they're expecting him to do that. That's what he's not going to name him when Scott Arniel says he's one of the guys. Right. Nemesnikov, light. So you got Jonathan Toews, you got Perfetti who comes back from his injury, struggles. You got Nemesnikov who's light. You know what's interesting? When they had Sandberg, Lowry, and Perfetti out, they were winning.
Yeah.
And that second line was a lot better with Nemesnikov, Toews, and Iafallo. So, you start to look at shifting it around. Their problems are in specific areas, light, not fast enough, not dynamic, and certainly the Ehlers' departure has had a real effect on it.
Well, the good news is, we mentioned in the highlight pack, Connor Hellebuyck could be on his way back sooner rather than later. More on that coming up in Insider Trading later in the show.